Welcome and a very happy Christmas to you. Last year when we recorded and edited together our online YouTube Christmas service, I thought it was a great experiment, but not necessarily one that I wanted to repeat. I really miss having a room full of people and the smell of mince pies, mulled wine and fresh coffee wafting through the youth centre. However, everyone has rallied together and helped put together this service. So I'd encourage you to light a cinnamon scented candle, pour yourself a glass of mulled wine, sit back and relax for our second virtual Christmas service.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, and thy birth, Jesus, Lord, and thy birth. Oh, silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace, yes, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
A woman called Mary was doing her chores when an angel arrived, but not through the doors. She simply appeared and dropped to the floor. "Hello, Mary," he said. "God is with you."
God with me!
What is it? She wondered.
But what does that mean? What's this all about? Is it some kind of dream?
The angel just smiled. "Don't be scared. Please don't scream. God is happy and will bless you. You'll soon have a baby," the angel went on. "A quite special baby called Jesus, God's son. The heir of King David, he'll sit on the throne, and his kingdom will last forever."
But how?
Mary asked.
I don't understand. I'm engaged to be wed by, but he's not my man yet.
"Trust God," said the angel. "He's got it all planned. His spirit will come upon you." All night Joseph tossed. All night Joseph turned.
I just can't fall asleep.
He'd only just learned that Mary was pregnant. What more she confirmed is that the baby she bore was not his. "Joseph, don't worry. Joseph, don't weep. Lay down your head and go back to sleep. Mary's been faithful, her love strong and deep, and the baby is God's own son. He is the answer to all the prophets have said, so keep your engagement, be glad and be wed."
When I woke up, decided I took Mary to be my wife.
Shepherds lying on a hill, the night was silent, all was still. They watched their flock of grazing sheep and tried hard not to fall asleep. When bright and white an angel came to light a night, a fiery flame, the shepherds trembled where they lay. The angel said, "Don't be afraid. Sing praise to God and give him glory. Celebrate his wondrous story of love and joy, peace to men. For it brings in Bethlehem good news, for God has kept his word and sent his Saviour Christ the Lord. The one he promised he would send is born this day in Bethlehem." Let's go to Bethlehem and see. The shepherds all as one agreed. They found the baby where he lay upon a bed of hay.
Star watches what the star goes by, looking for secrets in the sky. And then they saw a special star away in the east, west, away far.
"A king's been born, that's what it means. Do away, or so it seems." They climbed aboard their camelly beasts and set off west for their homes back east.
One hump, two hump, lumpty lump, the star watches went with a bump and a thump. One hump, two hump, lumpty lump, the star watches followed the star.
At last, their journey came to an end. They parked their camels in Jerusalem. Then they went to Herod, king of the nation, to ask him for some information.
"Oh, king," they were quite polite. "Somewhere around here on this starry night, a brand new baby king abides. Can you tell us where this child resides?"
"Star Watchers, friends," King Herod smiled, "in Bethlehem you'll find the child. Would you tell me where you find him, please? The exact address would put my mind at ease." Herod, of course, told them a lie. He'd already planned for the child to die. When he found the boy, that's what he'd do. So the Star Watchers left without a clue.
So the shining star led them to a place, a simple house, not some fancy space. And when they saw the little boy, they gave him a pile of special toys.
Presents rather fit for aching. A bunch of shiny golden things. A spice called myrrh. A sort of perfume. While smelly frankincense filled the room.
Then in the night they had a dream that showed them Herod's evil scheme, so they never said where the boy's house lay, but went straight home by another way.
One hump, two hump, lumpty lump, the Star Watchers went with a bump and a thump. One hump, two hump, lumpty lump, the Star Watchers followed the star. So what is the point of angels and shepherds and camels and stars, you say? Is it just a nice story to tell the children to celebrate Christmas Day?
It's not just a story, it's not just a kid, it's the hinge of which history swings.
That Bethlehem baby grew into a man who challenged all powers and kings.
He taught us that love is better than hate, that serving beats being in charge.
He showed us the value of each human life. The little ones well with the laws.
And then on a cross, he died for us all. Died to take all our wrongs away and walked through days right out of his tomb to turn dark night to day. That is the good news the angels promised the heart of Jesus would do. A new life for now, a new life forever. That is a Christmas present for you.
Oh, that night in Bethlehem, when heaven opened wide to sing and herald that the word had come to us. A baby born into the night, crying out and breathing life, naked in the arms of mother's love. Rejoice, oh rejoice, the Lord has come
Well, today I want to speak about a lovely Christmassy topic, fear. I don't know if you have read the accounts surrounding the birth of Jesus, but there was a lot of fear experienced by the characters in the Christmas story. We have the young Mary, of course, who initially was fearful at the words of the angel Gabriel, declaring that she will carry God's own son. I should imagine that Joseph felt a good deal of fear and trepidation when Mary tried to explain what was happening. The shepherds were afraid when the angels appeared to them, and it almost certainly made the sheep jump too. In fact, pretty much any time an angel appears, fear seems to be the natural response, as the first words are often, "Do not be afraid." Well, you know, the people at the time of Jesus' birth were living under Roman rule, and the Romans used fear as their number one weapon. People were living in an atmosphere of fear. They were unaware of what was about to happen, and any onlooker would say it was a very dark time in human existence. We ourselves are experiencing a bit of a dark time with the extended bumpy ride with this virus. Fear is not an uncommon response, and you may be feeling fearful and uncertain of what the future holds. I haven't counted them up, but I've got it on good authority that the Bible contains the phrase "fear not" or "do not be afraid" 365 times. So it's clear that fear is common and has a prominent place in human history. And also we have a God who's constantly communicating the message of not being afraid to us every day. You know, why would God want to do that? Why would God want to do that? Well, what happens when we're afraid? What happens when we feel fear? We hide away, or we run, or we make irrational knee-jerk decisions, and we end up pressing the pause button on life. All of those responses result in us being absolutely unable to help others. And God calls us to be the light in the darkness. He calls us to be the light of the world and to physically carry hope and comfort to those who are feeling fearful. We can't very well do that while we're cowering under the bed. At the very beginning of John's account of his own experiences with Jesus, he writes this curious passage. I'll read it to you. "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." To set the context for everything else that he had to say in his book, John describes Jesus as being one with God, involved in the very creation of all things, the divine. And yet, John goes on to say that this word, or logos, word is a very narrow English translation, and it doesn't really convey half of probably what John would have meant by using that word, logos. You know, he says this. He goes on to say, this word, this logos, became flesh in the form of Jesus. John is making the point that God stepped down from heaven to be limited by the constraints of a human body in order to bring heaven's light into the dark, human, fear-ridden, Roman-controlled Middle Eastern world. John realised that to experience the significance of God's gift in Jesus, we needed to understand this, that God so wanted to communicate his love that he would limit himself to human form in order to stand alongside us. He's the God that comes alongside us. He is God with us, Emmanuel. He did that to see what it felt like to live in an atmosphere of fear and control and manipulation. So that's what he did. He lived and he loved, and he brought peace and healing to a dark and broken world. But he didn't stop with this one brief trip in a human form. Jesus still walks alongside us in our darkest moments, shining his light of hope, surrounding us with his loving embrace, driving out all fear, in order for us to be the light-filled change makers that our world needs. That one pinprick of light that we remember at Christmas time, born in a stable, turned out to be the enduring light and hope that is still speaking into darkness today. This Christmas, why not take a moment or two to just consider how fear might be limiting what God could do through you, and pray that God's light would shine both into the dark, fearful places in our own hearts and through us into a world that still needs light and love and peace. Wishing you all God's blessings this Christmas, and looking forward to being back together in the new year. Wishing you all a wonderful and light-filled Christmas.
Ding dong merrily on high, in heaven bells are ringing. Ding dong verily the sky is ribboned with angels singing. Gloria, 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 Hosanna in excelsis. In so here below, let's the Poole bells be swunging, and the oh, by priest and people singing. Gloria, 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 Hosanna in excelsis. Gloria, 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 Hosanna in excelsis. Pray you dutifully prime your matin chime ye ringers. May you beautifully rhyme your eve time song ye sing.